In this episode, I'm gonna share how you can set your goals and you actually achieve them. Hey guys, it's Aiko. I'm an American English pronunciation coach and business coach based in Hawaii. So before I dive into today's topic, I made a PDF guide for you to get some ideas to reach six figures with a small following and a micro niche and high ticket offers. So I put so much information in this PDF. I reached six figures in 2020 with a tiny list of just 150 people, and right now I still have a very small following, but I have some coaching packages that are $10,000 and up, and I am providing high ticket offers. So I put so much information in this PDF as an English pronunciation coach who didn't know anything about business in 2016, but then I learned so much after that, right? So if you are a coach and if you have a very small following or small list, but you want to reach six figures, I want you to know that it's possible, but there are some tactics that you can learn and then make it happen, right? So please go to the description box and check out the PDF guide. All right, so in this episode, I want to share how you can set your goals and then you actually achieve them. So most people set goals but do not achieve their goals. In some scientific data said 92% of people who set goals do not achieve their goals. So it's like 92%. So you want to be the 8%, right? Only 8% people who actually achieve them. So I want you to be in the 8%, but how to be in 8%, right? So how you can set up your goals and then you actually achieve them, you want to be the person who already achieved the goals. So that's how I do it. So just going back to how I was, I came to the US when I was 23 from Japan. So you can maybe imagine that, I was born and raised in Japan, didn't speak English at all, came to the US, and then I was not able to communicate in English in the States. So I had a hard time. But at that time, my default state, or my ideal personality or identity was a person who speaks perfect English. I mean, right now I know that there is no perfect English anyway, anyways. But at that time I was like, I'm gonna be a native English speaker. So when I came to the US, my reality was that I didn't speak English at all, right? I couldn't make a simple sentence like "Where are we?" I was saying like "Where is here? Where is here?" And then my friends were like, "What is Aiko saying?" Right? So I couldn't even build a sentence, like simple sentence, like "Where are we?" So I mean, you can tell how bad my English was back then. Like a lot of times, like I mispronounced so many words, and people looked at me and then laughed at me like so many times, right? And then sometimes people got really mad at me because I said a bad word by accident and without me knowing, right? So I'm like, why is this person yelling at me? I had no idea back then. But anyway, so that's how I started learning English in the States. But my default state was my default, like being, right? So I was already the person who speaks perfect English. Whatever the reality is, whatever the external circumstance was, it didn't matter to me. I came to the US with an identity where I spoke perfect English. So that's how I started it. So that's why I kept practicing. I practiced so much. I practiced so much, and I looked for so many different methods to improve my English, right? And then I am able to speak it now because I set my goal to be a native English speaker or a person who speaks perfect English. And then I was already that person. So what I did was I was already that person, right? So whatever that external circumstance was, it didn't matter. The reality eventually came to me where I can speak English, no problem, right? So that's how you make it happen. So whenever you set your goals, like for example, when I started my own English pronunciation coaching business in 2016 January, I didn't know anything about business, and as a result, it took me 14 months to find my first client. That's how bad my marketing skills were. So it took me a while to find my first client, right? So you can see I didn't know anything about business at that time. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I didn't know. I mean, there are so many things that I still don't know that that I don't even know I don't know them. But anyway, but I started with a mind where I'm making enough money from my English pronunciation coaching business. So even though I didn't have the skills yet, like skills are external, right? But my internal was already being the person who is making enough money to make a living. So even though I just started it, but I set a goal, right? I set a goal to make enough money from my coaching business. And I already became the person who was making enough money from my coaching business. So that's how you can set your goal and you actually achieve it. Be the person who is already doing it. Be the person who's done it already. It's more powerful when you feel like you already did it in your mind, and you start looking for the way to make it happen, right? So even it's okay, like you dream big and then at that time you don't even know how to do it, right? So when I came to the States, I didn't know how to speak English. I mean, I had no idea how to do it. But that's okay because I was already the person who speaks perfect English, right? And then that identity, that default state helped me look for the solutions. So if you set up your goal, if you set your goal and you can and then you become the person, if you don't do anything for it, it's not gonna happen, right? So it requires 3 things. First, have your goals. Define your goals. Like, be specific. Even it's okay if you don't know how to get there. That's okay. But you can be very specific about your goals, even though you don't know how to get there. That's okay. So for me, I wanted to be able to speak perfect English, even though I didn't speak English, right? And then I had no idea how to get there, and that's fine. Just be specific, like what kind of person I am when I achieved the goal, right? So I was just speaking English with no problem, and I'm just living in the States with no problem. So that was my goals, right? And then I was like really specific about it. My pronunciation is really natural. I can, I can build sentences when I think. I do not have to worry about the grammar or pronunciation. And then I can just talk with anyone with no problem, and I can learn what I want to learn in English, no problem. So I was like really specific about it, even though I didn't know how to get there. So you can be very, very specific about your goals, and it's okay if you don't know how to get there. That's totally fine. And the second part is that be that person, right? Be that person who already have it. So be that person who's already done it. Be that person who's already doing it. So you can start being that person right now in this moment. You don't have to wait for it, because your future is the repetition of now, right? If you don't change the now, your future is not going to change. So you have to change now. How do you do it? You can just change your identity. You can just change your identity now, and it's so easy. It's like quick, like you can just be that person. It happens right away because it's just your inner state. It doesn't have, you don't have to worry about the external state. Just think about your inner state. Be that person first. And then 3, this is really important. Do the work. Actually do the work. It requires the work and the effort. So whenever I talk to my clients, I tell them to practice English pronunciation every day. Some clients ask me like, how much should I practice English pronunciation a day? I tell them, every time you speak English, or every time you hear English, that is a practice. Meaning you'll be practicing every day, all day long, from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep. Actually, when you practice enough, your default state becomes English, right? So my clients are Japanese, and then I'm teaching them English pronunciation. So when they practice English enough, their dreams will become English. That's how I am right now. When I dream in English, not in Japanese. So and then all day long I think in English, not in Japanese. It's actually pretty easy when you switch the language, right? So you want to, I tell my clients to like just stick with using English all the time, all day long, and let your dreams become, English. And then if my clients dream in Japanese, they're not using English enough, right? So I tell them that, and then you actually need to do the work. Like, for example, I set the goals to be able to speak English with no problem, and just living in the US and then being able to learn or take classes in the English, no problem. That was my goals, right? And then I became the person who's already speaking perfect English. But if I didn't do the work, I cannot achieve my goals, right? If I kept using Japanese in the US, and then if I refuse to practice English, what's going to happen? I'm not able to speak English, right? So it's really obvious. You have to do the work. You cannot set your goals and be the person and don't do anything. If you don't do the work, you're not going to achieve your goals. So you really have to do the work. And then I tell my clients that they have to put a lot of effort at the beginning so that they can be effortless later. So in order to go to the effortless state, you actually have to put so much effort at the beginning, because you have to do the hard the hard work, right? You have to do the work, and I call it hard work. This is not fun. This is meticulous. This is really taxing. So that's why a lot of people don't achieve the goals. But be that person first. This will guide you to keep doing the hard work until the hard work becomes effortless. You really want to pass that point, and then you can achieve your goals. So I hope this makes sense. And then same thing for business. Like I decided to build my own English pronunciation coaching business, and then my first goal was to reach 6 figures. I mean, my first goal was to be able to make a living, because I was so tired of chasing jobs, right? I was working at restaurants, serving food. I was like really tired of it, right? And then, I couldn't have enough shifts in winter when it was slow, and my income was like really fluctuating. I didn't really like that, so I wanted to change it. So I wanted to start my own coaching business, English pronunciation coaching business. And then my first goal was to make just enough money from it. But then it became like, oh, maybe I want to reach 6 figures, right? And then I reached six figures because I did those 3. And then you cannot skip any of the steps. You have to do those 3 steps in order to reach your goals. But a lot of people miss number 2. So this is a necessary step to have, and you do the work. Whenever you feel like you're not moving forward, whenever you feel like you're stuck, the step number 2 will let you keep going, let you keep finding a new way to make it happen. So make sure that you have those 3 steps. So let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you set your goals for 2023. Please share them in the comment section, and then I want to encourage you to be that person first so that you can actually achieve your goals. But please do the work, do the hard work for now, so that it becomes effortless later. All right, so thank you very much for watching. And then if you are interested in my business coaching, I provide one-on-one coaching for 12 months. We meet once a month on Zoom, and you have access to me all the time over emails. I will answer any of your questions, and you can report your progress to me, and then I may give you more action items before we meet again on Zoom. So if you are interested in having me as your coach for 12 months, imagine how far you can go if someone helps you, right? Because, building your own coaching business can be really lonely, and you can get stuck, right? So if you feel like I can be your coach, please let me know. There are so many business coaches out there. It doesn't have to be me. But if you have a very strong reason to have me as your coach, let me know, because I really want you to achieve your goals, and I will be your guide and supporting you. All right, so thank you very much for watching, and see you guys in the next episode. Bye.